Hey, there was coincidentally there was a Brinks truck backed up to the Browns front door today when you guys were starting practice. Um, what does it mean for the team to make the investment in you and in Wyatt over the last 2 days?
First and foremost, it's an honor. Both me and Wyatt are very appreciative of, the Browns, starting with the Haslams and Andrew Berry and the whole front office and Coach Stefanski all the way down. But I think it just points to our identity. We want to be a team that wins in the trenches, up front, both offensive line and defensive line. And I think Wyatt and myself, give us a versatile ability to run outside zone schemes, to run power schemes, to run, gap schemes, kind of gives us an ability to run both and to have, two guards that you can pull either way and both can do those type of things really gives you an opportunity on offense to be multiple.
And Joe, what's it going to mean to you to hopefully, just like number 73 did, play your entire career with one team?
I mean, that's it's pretty special. You look around the league and there's people that leave that great players that play on multiple teams, 3-4 teams. And it's such a tough business to, stick with one team because you have so many different coaching staffs and things that happen. But it truly is an honor to hopefully finish my career here, and hopefully it sets us up that way. I don't know anything else, I just know the Cleveland Brown way and that's how I want to finish it. I think we do have something special built in here and hopefully we can get some big wins before that comes up though.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Tom. Matt Fontana has our next question.
Yeah, Joel, kind of off that, first off, congratulations. And, you've been through it, as long as tenured Brown, you've gone through some of the tough times. How gratifying is it to almost come out the other side to be on a successful team? And does it make it, a little sweeter that you did go through some of the tough times?
Yeah, I think anytime you, like you said, go through some tough times, the good times are just a little bit sweeter. I know I celebrate every win. If it's a close game, if it's a blowout in our favor, I celebrate every win because I know how hard it was to lose all those games in a row and kind of be in those situations. So it's special, and to be part of that. And like I said, hopefully get some more big wins as we go along here. But it's pretty cool to look back and just kind of see, where the team's been and where we're kind of trying to move to and get to a point where it's, expected for the Browns to be a good team every year.
And off of that, not even just you, but obviously, Miles and Kareem and Nick and obviously Wyatt yesterday. Joel, you used to see a lot of good players leave. They wouldn't stay here. So what does that mean to see the team and the organization really, first off, have good players that they want to re-sign and that you're kind of keeping the core together?
It's a big step. I think you look at a lot of, the NFL is such a different sport than every other sport, but a lot of the good teams build through the draft and they draft guys and you want to keep your core players. But when you get good players in this league, you want to keep them. And that's been a thing you see with our last few extensions. And, I'm proud to be a part of that group and hopefully we can, re-sign a few more guys and we can, keep building this thing and keep drafting good players and really just set ourselves up. So it's a thing, you go to the Browns, you play good for 3 or 4 years and you get a new contract. And that's kind of how it works here, where people want to come here and want to stay here and want to be part of a winning organization.
Thank you, Matt. Nate Ulrich, go ahead.
Hey, Joel, congratulations. Andrew Berry in the announcement for this had a quote that I wanted to ask you about in a couple ways. The one was, he said after last season, the Browns wanted to make it one of their main priorities to, extend you and have you here for the rest of your career. So has this been something that's, to your knowledge, been building for a long time? And then the second part of my question is, Andrew Berry dropped a gold jacket in Canton at the end of your career, hopefully. And I know you recently heard Joe Thomas talk about that. But now that it's not just, one of those talking heads on TV and it's actually the GM, how does that hit you?
Yeah, the first question, I think my agent went to the Browns this summer or, off season and just discussed like, hey, we want to be here, what do you think of Joel? And we want to try and make something work. And those discussions, take a long time and we had a couple years left on the contract. So things were happening. And then honestly, once the season started, I told my agent, like, I don't want to hear anything about anything. I'm trying to play games. I'm trying to focus on going 1-0 every week. And to be completely honest, I didn't know anything about this until after the game on Sunday. You know, they had been working on it, I guess, for you know, a couple of weeks, but my agent was going to keep it quiet and just let me focus on the games, and I appreciate that. I didn't want to be thinking about other things while I'm going out there to play. And so after the, you know, game Sunday, Monday came around, I started realizing, all right, this is going to happen. Like, this happened really fast. So it was one of those things where we had discussed it, but nothing really came to, you know, into my forefront until this week. I mean, 2 days ago, really. So that was kind of a whirlwind, but it's obviously most appreciated. And then the comments that Andrew Berry made it's obviously an honor to be held in that regard. You know, that's so far off in the distance for me. Like, I legitimately think, like, all right, I have the New England Patriots this week that we have to come out and play against a great defense. Like, and I think about that this weekend, and then, you know, whoever we play the next weekend, that's my number one goal. You look back on it and you know, especially for offensive linemen, you just try and do your best. And if something like that ever happened, like, it would obviously be an unbelievable honor. And I would, you know, I wouldn't know what to say, but right now I'm so focused in the now that it's like, all right, we got a tough matchup this week, and we got to really, really focus on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nate. Dale Ryder, go ahead.
Hey, Joel, congratulations. What's it feel like to be the first Browns drafted player since '99 to get not one, but two multi-year contract extensions?
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. You know, yeah, I knew I was signing my third one, but you know, I hadn't heard that one. So that's a pretty cool stat.
In all seriousness, though, just it's been a whirlwind couple of weeks here for you guys, and just for someone that has, as you were asked about earlier, just been through everything, the good, bad, and sometimes the ugly with this team. I guess because it got dark there for a while a couple years ago, how were you able to really not only persevere through that to get through that period, but now as you're on the other end and the team has kind of turned things around, you yourself are playing some of your best football, being a, you know, 3 straight Pro Bowlers, second team All Pro, that type of thing. And as you were asked about, you know, being even mentioned as a potential Hall of Famer someday.
Yeah, it was like you said, it was rough. You know, I talked about that with my wife the other day, how we won, you know, 4 games in that 3-year stretch. And it was, you know, for me personally, like, games I had played in, it was even longer than that. And, you know, I remember the joy we had with the Jets win and getting out of that. And, you know, for me personally, there's so much pride every time you go on the field, especially for an offensive lineman, because your job, you know, it matters to the running backs, to the quarterbacks, to the receivers, to the tight ends, to the whole team. Like, what you do on the field is, like, first off, health, and then second off, like, their performance matters through you. So every time I walked on the field, it was like the guy next to me, you know, I have to play for him. I have to play for that guy. I have to play for my own pride and for my team. And so, like, there was rough spots, but, you know, every time you walked on the field, it was like, all right, this is a new chance. This is a new responsibility. And then as we slowly started adding talent and adding the players that I thought could compete in this league, it was nice to see that change, where it's like, okay, we're going out there. We're not just playing for pride now. We're playing to win games, and we're playing to do these things. And then, you know, I think the icing on the cake for me was, you know, we had some more successful seasons there, some more wins when Baker took over. But then when Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski kind of took over, then you're like, all right, this feels right. Like, this feels like we're doing something really, really, you know, good, and we can move forward with that.
Thanks, Daryl. Jeff Shadell, you have our next question.
Hey, Joel, congratulations. I've counted it up. You've blocked for 13 quarterbacks, and that doesn't include Odell or Jarvis or any of those gadget guys. What was that like, and which of that 13 stands out to you the most?
Well, I would say Baker. I've probably blocked for the most, so that he would stand out for the, you know, you know, he's the guy that stands out the most to me. He's our quarterback now and in the future, so that's my guy. But, you know, I talked to Joe Thomas about this when he was here, and he had blocked for so many different quarterbacks and stuff, and he was like, you can only really, you know, there's so many different things you have to worry about. Their set points, how they get rid of the ball, their cadence, things like that. But if you know, prepare yourself to play, then you're in a good position. But you know, there's definitely some random names that get thrown in there. So we've had a few different experiences, but no, it's been a whirlwind, and hopefully, like I said, we got Baker here for, you know, the foreseeable future.
Thank you, Jeff. Scott Petrick, go ahead.
Hey, Joel, congrats. Hey, when we talked in October, you said one of your goals was you knew you wanted to play 10 years. Now that this contract would take you through like 2025, have you thought about, would you want to play beyond that, or that's a stopping point, or is that just too far away?
I think it's too far away. I always thought like coming into the league, like getting a second contract. And then once you get the second contract, it's like, man, double digits. Like you don't see that many guys play 10 years. And so that was kind of like the next goal. But once you get to a certain age, you're kind of playing on a year by year basis where it's like, hey, how does my body feel? Like, where's my family at in life? You know what I mean? You got kids that are growing up and you want to spend time with them and things of that nature too. So there's a lot that goes into it, but right now I feel good, and we signed up for a few more years. So we're excited about that.
And when did you start to think that, yeah, I want to be in Cleveland for my entire career?
Yeah. I honestly, I've never had a second thought because I signed my first extension, with a year left on my contract. So I knew I was going to be here for, at least a few more years. And then, like I said, once Andrew Berry and, Coach Stefanski came in, I knew this was a group that I wanted to be a part of. And the Haslams have always treated me, with the most respect and very well. So I've always had, a special place in my heart in Cleveland. And it's somewhere that I've never even thought about really, being like, oh, where am I going to play somewhere else, or when that time's going to come? And you never know. I mean, you see a guy like Von Miller who you think is going to be a Denver Bronco for his whole career, and he goes somewhere else. So there's always things that happen. But right now, I only know the Cleveland Browns, and that's what I'm, hoping to keep that way.
Thanks, Joel.
Thanks, Scott. Dan Labby, we'll go to you.
Yeah, Joe, I mean, I guess kind of along those lines, a guy born in California, you went to school in Nevada, drafted here. I guess what has this city and this fan base kind of meant to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. They've accepted me since day one. I was with Johnny and Justin and those guys when I got here, and I was kind of a little bit, overlooked with that draft class, rightfully so. You had 2 first-round picks. These guys are playing, quarterback and cornerback. But since I've been here, the people of Cleveland have always treated me with the most respect, always the most support. And Wyatt said this yesterday, they do love their linemen. I think you go around town and people are like, oh, do you recognize it? I'm like, occasionally, I'll see a few people, but it's funny how much they support their linemen. They love their guys. I think they learned, supporting some of our great linemen in the past, Joe Thomas and those guys, that they kind of learned to love these guys. But it's been very cool. The people here, the community, we feel part of it. Like you said, I grew up in California. I was there for a long time, but this is the second, longest place I've ever been. And it's special to us. We have, 2 dogs that we got from here and 2 kids. And it's really special for our family. And it's definitely, you look back on it, it's like, Cleveland's definitely part of our home.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. Mary Kay Cabot is up.
Yeah, definitely congratulations, Joel. This is great. So you were talking a little bit about Baker Mayfield and how that he's your quarterback of the future and he'll be here for the foreseeable future. So my question is, now that you guys have gotten paid, how would you like to see Baker get wrapped up long term, so that you guys know that you're all here together, pulling in the same direction for how many ever years it lasts?
Yeah, of course. I think he's shown a lot, and I think he's, from day one, he stated he wanted, before he even got drafted by the Cleveland Browns, he said, I want to go to Cleveland. I want to help turn that around. And I think to have that mentality and, the toughness he plays with, the savvy he plays with, the ability he shows when he plays football, like, I think he is the right guy for the job. And I would love to see that. But I didn't even know about my contract till 2 days ago. So it's a lot. And, I know we're in season right now and the team is really starting to, try and focus in going 1-0 this week. But no, he's our guy and we love Bake and his personality and his ability. And it's just, he's someone that I think people rally around.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mary Kay. We'll go to Marla Reitnauer.
Yeah, Joel, congratulations. I can't resist this, but is the college fund set now?
Yeah, I think that the kids can go anywhere. Yeah, I mean, Nevada's number 1 on their list, of course, but they might be able to apply to a few other schools if they want.
Yeah. And just one more thing about Baker, with you and Wyatt, you seem like you're pulling, the way you guys seem perfect for Baker. You know what I mean? Just the way you can get out and, protect him. Do you think there's a little bit of that? Did any of that cross your mind, I guess?
I'm not sure. They do move us around a lot. We pull in both directions, and we move the pocket and pass protection. And like I said, like I think Wyatt and myself give us the ability to be versatile on offense. And it's one of the things Coach Callahan stresses. We want to start the pocket from the inside out and keep guys on the line of scrimmage. So it's one of the things that I'm sure went into it. And in the NFL, if you have guys that you think are good players, especially in the trenches, you want to try and keep those guys, because sometimes it's hard to find those guys. But no, it's appreciated. I know I don't know the plan, but I'm sure Andrew Berry and Coach Stefanski have a plan of how they want to attack this and set this up. But no, it's definitely an honor, and it's been cool to me and Wyatt both get locked up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marla. We're going to take two more. Ashley Bastock, Scott Patrick. Ashley?
Hey, Joel, congrats. Joe Thomas's name has come up a few times during this. So I kind of just wanted to ask, like in those early years in your career, how Joe maybe informed some of these big picture goals that you've set for yourself, I guess.
Yeah, he was, it was really special, the room I came into, with Joe Thomas obviously being the leader, but Alex Mack had been here, John Greco, Mitchell Schwartz, like these guys were all like good to great, NFL players. And they really did show me the way, like the way they studied, the way they prepared for games. And we had, a few rough seasons there, but like they were so professional each step of the way that it was honestly like such a blessing for me to be into that room. And, he had goals for himself, but the thing I always took from Joe is how much he studied the film, how well he took notes in meetings, and then the work he put in, not just at practice all the time, but taking care of his body, stretching. And I think if you look back on Joe's career, like he had a great career, but he got everything he could out of his body before he had to shut it down. And that was something that I just admired. Like every week, there was times he could have tapped out, but every week he said, I'm playing for the guy next to me. And when I played my whole rookie year, every snap, because like that's what they did. Like it was Alex, it was Joe, they never missed snaps. And I got hurt my second year, and I was just like, you can't come out of the game. So I finished the game, and then afterwards, like, hey, you're gonna miss a few weeks. And I was just like, devastated from that, because I had seen these guys like do it, and obviously things happen, but it was just that mentality that really rubbed up on me.
Thanks, Ashley. Final question, Scott Patrick.
Joe, was it important to you to be the highest paid guard over a long-term deal?
No, like I said, I really didn't know much about it, for the last couple of days, but it was just something that we felt was, in the right ballpark. But honestly, like we just wanted something that would work for both sides and that we could put in. But there was nothing where you got to be the highest paid guy or the second highest paid guy. It's always good to see the market go up. Someone, Q or Sheriff or someone like that's going to get paid this offseason, and they'll reset the market themselves. So it's just part of the business. The salary cap's going to go up in a hopefully a couple of years, it's going to keep shooting up. But it's just I think how contracts work, now.
So you didn't see Thuney's contract in the summer and be like, I need to get X number of dollars more?
No, it gives you a starting point sometimes. You say like, oh, that looks nice. You know what I mean? Like they pay you at that price. But there was nothing where it's like, oh, if we're going to be at a certain amount or we're not going to sign this. So it was just it just ended up working out.